Hi everybody, welcome to your last episode in your Java EE tutorial series. So in this tutorial we'll be talking about Duke's Forest, which is a simple e-commerce application that contains several web applications and illustrates the use of multiple Java EE7 APIs. So we have JSF, context and dependency injection for Java EE, Java API for RESTful Web Services or JAX-RS, Java Persistence API, JPA, Java API for Java Bean validation, and EJB technologies, as well as JMS. Now, the design and architecture of the Duke's Forest example is pretty complex, consisting of 3 main projects and 3 sub-projects. The figure here shows the architecture of the 3 main projects that you will deploy: the Duke Store, the Duke Shipment, and the Duke's Payment. It also shows how Duke Store makes use of the Events and Entities projects. So the first thing that this application consists of is Duke Store. So this is a web application that has a product catalog, consumer self-registration, and a shopping cart. It also has an administration interface for product, category, and user management. The project name is Duke Store. Now, the Duke Shipment is a web application that provides an interface for order shipment management. The project name is Duke Shipment. Duke's Payment is a web service application that has a RESTful web service for order payment. And Duke's Resource, a simple Java archive project that contains all resources used by the web projects. It includes messages, CSS style sheets, images, JavaScript files, and JSF composite components. The project name is Duke Resources. And then there are the entities. It's a simple Java archive project that contains all JPA entities. This project is shared among all other projects that use entities. The project name is Entities. And finally, the Events, which is a simple Java archive project that contains a POJO, or a simple Java class, that is used as a CDI event. The project name is Events. Now, I want you to know the Duke's Forest example uses all of the topics that we learned from the previous chapters. So this example is the motherlode of what we learned. So as shown in this example, the Duke's Forest example is split into 2 interfaces: the main interface over here and the administrator interface. The main interface is for the customer and the administrator interface is for the administrator. There are a few things that will happen in this order. So first of all, the customer interacts with the main interface of web pages that is connected to a facade of managed beans, stateless session beans, which in turn interact with the entities that represent the databases. Notice too that administrator interacts with the same facade, but with his own interface. The facade also interacts with web services APIs that have access to the Duke's Payment web service. Then the customer orders. When the customer orders, a JMS client sends a message into a queue called order queue, and then this order is then approved by the administrator and the order is finally satisfied. The most fundamental building block of the application are the Events and Entity projects, which are bundled into Duke's Store and Duke's Shipment along with Duke's Resource project. Now, the Events project. The Events project is one of the core components of Duke's Forest. Despite its importance, it's rather simple. It has only one class, the order event, but this class is responsible for most of the messages between objects in the application. Here's a little snippet of its use in the payment handler class. This example handles the management of ordering. If the payment has been approved, then it continues on with the payment. If you check out the code over here, if it's approved, then it continues on with the payment approved. If not, then it stops it right there. It denies the payment. Notice the use of @paid qualifiers and the @new qualifier. The Entities project, which is a JPA, Java Persistence API project, used for storing data. Each entity has validation rules set in place to ensure the protection of the data. Now, as you can see here, all the entities and the relationships with each other, like for example, this one has a many-to-one relationship with person, and person has a one-to-many relationship with customer order, and so on. Next, there's the Duke's Payment Project. This is our final project. The Duke's Payment Project is a really simple web project that holds a simple payment service. For now, the only rule imposed on a payment system is to deny all orders above $1,000. This application illustrates a common scenario where a third-party payment service is used to validate credit cards or bank payments. Now let's take a look into our NetBeans and let's check out everything that the Duke Store project has in store for us. And now that we're in our NetBeans, let's go ahead and right-click Open Project and go ahead into your case studies once again. Go on Duke's Forest, make sure that this checkbox is checked off, and go ahead and open project. Okay, so what this is going to come up with is your Duke's Forest entire project. It will have these guys over here. These are all your projects, and these are all the resources that you need. So the first thing we'll take a look at is our enterprise beans used in the Duke Store. So in the Duke Store, go ahead into your source packages and check out your EJBs. So all this stuff, let's take a look at, let's say, shopping cart. This is an EJB that tells your your code to do stuff. Like for example, add an item or get a total of the cart items, and checking out, let's say if the person wants to check out due to page navigation. Okay, next there are facelets files. Let's take a look at that inside here. One simple one. Let's take a look at index.xhtml. Inside here, it's just a welcome file. It's telling you that it's welcoming the logged user, and it's asking you to sign up. Okay, next, there's the faceless files used in the administration interface of Duke's Store. So this goes to the fact that admin over here, it has a lot of stuff like, for example, this admin, this has its own kind of index.xhtml, and the customer has its own index.html as well as its own pages that is specifically made for the customer. Okay, so next let's take a look into our managed beans used in Duke Store. If we take a look into our source packages again, we can see that there are, let's see, there are a few managed beans, like for example in web. Here are a few controllers that is made for this example. Any more managed beans? Some helper classes, definitely useful. Okay, then the qualifiers, which are set over here. These are qualifiers over here. Go ahead and take a look at those. Let's see, any event handlers? There we go. Handlers over here. Let's say like a delivery handler, just handles all the stuff, like yada yada. Let's see. Deployment descriptors in Duke Store. Let's see, is it here? Nope. Oh, there it is. So in the WebINF, we have the faces config, which this deployment descriptor is for all our facelets. The Glassfish Web XML, which is for our Glassfish background information, and the web.xml, which is our main guy right here that works on the entire project. And this is the exact same for every single guy in our in each project. So Duke Store will have the same Duke Shipment, Duke Resource, Duke Payment, and so on. Okay, so I'm not gonna run it because even though everything's working, the problem is if I go ahead and try to build it, I will get an error, and I'm not sure why this happens. If you guys have any idea, like just tell me in the comments below and just help me out here. Yeah, so I'm getting this. Let me just explain that. So over here, it's telling me that while it's building the Duke's payment. So this guy is good. Success. Duke's payment is the big problem. It's giving me a failure. It's because it's saying that the Maven plugin over here, it's going into that, and it's the Glassfish admin. Oops. Let me go back to that. The Glassfish admin command failed. So as admin. So as admin is used to like activate anything that Glassfish does, like starting it, starting or stopping a database. And I really tried. Like I've tried it out for a few days. I've put so many hours into it, and I still don't understand. I don't understand what's going on here. And I'm really sorry, guys. Like, I I mean, if you guys, any of you could help me out, I would love to try this out. I would love to fix this, and I'll re-upload another back-to-back video. But yeah, that's literally it. I mean, the great thing is that the code is all here. The code is all there for you, and you can go ahead and take a look, and you know what how it's gonna work, because like I showed it to you before inside here. Inside here, this is literally what it's supposed to be. So the customer orders something, and then what it does is it checks, it sends it into the customer order, the order queue, and then this administrator will then verify that order. Once it verifies it, then it tells, it sends a web page back to this, and it checks it with the entities that it communicates with the database, and then it would continue to do the payment, and then you will be able to buy the stuff that you want. And guys, this is it for this tutorial and my entire series actually, but this is only the beginning. Now that you understand everything about Java EE, you shouldn't have to worry about anything right now. You are done. And this is the beginning for your coding journey. Thank you so much for staying with me through this entire tutorial, and I hope to see you later on in the next tutorials that I'll be trying out. Maybe some AWS, maybe some cloud, but you know what? Java is done. Java EE is over. And I'm so glad that you guys have stuck around for me. Thank you so much. This is Viprav, and I'll see you later.